Yo, 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 Oppie Kingdom. Make sure you like the video. I got my special guest, Rich Cooper, the boss himself. We're gonna chop it up about the unplugged fit. Excuse me, the unplug alpha book, and just chop it up about some real games. So you make sure you guys like the video when you come in, and we'll start in 2 minutes. Get this ready on deck. We're gonna get into some good games. Um, yeah. There we go. Super chat.
Alpha Villains. Why does that name ring a bell?
We do we co-host a show,
Oh, okay.
and he probably follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, I think I've seen him before in my chat as well.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a good guy. We met in person in Miami, matter of fact.
Nice.
Uh-huh. What up, Riley? No intros today, brother. We gonna get into some author game. There we go. Got that. All right. Make sure you guys share this on your community players so he can tune in. Be a good show. There we go. 30 seconds down. Yeah. Boom! Yo, yo, good evening, good evening. Welcome to my special guest, Richard Cooper. How you doing?
What's up, brother?
Good, good. Shout out to AV for the super chat. He said, I just got my copy of the Unplugged Alpha today to add to my collection. Look forward to getting it signed one day soon. Keep grinding. It's a super chat party. Let's go, King Dre. Let's go. 30 minutes in. Let's do it. Share the video. Like the video. So let me pay homage real quick. First off, I'm going to tell you a secret. So it's an honor to have you here. I remember I started watching content in 2017. And I remember I opened the rabbit hole as far as the single moms. And I I had an obsessive guilty pleasure of watching single mom videos all day.
Mm-hmm.
I would go through you, Jab, Sola, all these guys. And it was interesting because I never heard other people talk about it other than me and my friends. So it was cool to hear from different perspectives of different people about the same thing. And it let me know I wasn't crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just think with the ego, like, oh, maybe it's just me or whatever. And it let me know, like, hey, this is some stuff going on. So
Yeah.
yeah. So let's talk about the book. What was the feeling and the motivation behind the book? Because you've been doing YouTube for a while, and what made you finally just say, uh, you know what, I'm gonna write this book, Unplugged Alpha. And hey, and I read it. I was pleasantly surprised, real quick. I didn't know you was no player like that. I knew you was a player like that as far as with the status, but I thought you were kind of older. Like, you know what, I did my thing. I'm chilling. The way that you broke down the Tinder game, you can't fool me. You're doing it. You broke that. I said, man, he's still in the field. I thought he was chilling with his plate. You got it going on, but go ahead. It's all on you, brother.
Game understands game, right? So that's just the way
Uh-huh.
that it is. So I guess I started to put it together around 2017 when I met Rolo, because I asked him if he would do the foreword for the book at the time, and he was like, "Who are you again?" because we barely knew each other, right? Like I had him on for an interview and we were chatting a little bit, but yeah, I just figured that there was a lot of stuff that I was coming across that I thought would be a nice piece of literature. And I started writing it about 3 or 4 years ago. And I just kind of kept like Word documents and started building up chapters. And some of them I threw away, some of them I kept that never made it into the book. But I wanted to basically have something that would not take longer than a day to read, because I hate long books. Like I hate long ass like wordy books that don't need 10 words that are in every single sentence that you can just remove.
Mhm.
So that's why I wrote it the way that I did. It's 200 pages. It's less than 5 hours on Audible. It's a very quick read, and it has all the main information that you need. I'll probably do a follow up to it because I've had such a good response to it. Like it's become a very good seller.
Mhm.
So I'll probably follow up to it either in different categories. Might be around money, might be around business, might be around more advanced games sort of stuff.
Right.
But I will definitely put out something else in the future. But it's been fun, man. I've been pleasantly surprised. Like, if I'm being honest, I actually booked a call with this guy. I think you know that I use Clarity for coaching, but there's a guy that works with Tucker Max that
Mhm.
was promoting one of his book platforms. I think it was Book in a Box or something like that. But his number one guy. So I booked a call with this guy that I met at a conference, and we chatted for like 15 minutes. I'm like, dude, I'm not sure I want to put this out. What if I end up with problems with like, the toxic feminist crowd and like the woke mob and all that sort of stuff? He's like, dude, don't worry about it. I watch your stuff. I know what you're about. We've put out other controversial stuff like this. You're going to get it, but that's a good thing because there's really no bad press on stuff like that. So, hey, man, it's worked. It's been fun. You should check it out if you guys haven't read it.
Moderators, do me a favor. Spam his book in the stuff because I'm
Yeah, you can grab the
co-signing.
link.
Yeah,
That's the book cover right there. You can find it on Amazon if you haven't seen it yet.
I'm co-signing. It was an excellent book. It was a fun read too because, like me, I like to be surprised. So I don't cover like I don't go through the cable of times. I hate people that read like that. That they pick what they want to know. Oh, okay. What am I struggling with? Red flags. Let me just go. No, you read the whole thing. At
Hmm.
least for me. So I don't like that when people do that. So I thought it was when I got the book. I thought it was kind of like a rational male as far as like the red pill mindset. I didn't know that it covered dating as strong as it did. So I was reading it, laughing like, look at Richard Cooper with the fire bars over here, man.
Hmm.
So it was fun to read. And let me see, what's my favorite? I'm gonna say my favorite chapter now. That it should be automatically single mothers, but outside of that, we're gonna go. I like what's my favorite one? I like manage the fucks you give,
Hmm.
the online one. Promiscuous primates, owner motorcycle, like that's dope.
Hmm.
Um, I covered a topic like that in learning to fight in one of my books too. It's certain masculine traits that I feel that everyone should have, and I also feel like everyone should read this book. Seriously, this is y'all know in the chat. I don't lie. I would just talk to you about the book. I wouldn't say it's fire just because you here. You would know the difference. The book is fire, and it breaks down every single thing. I feel like every man needs to read it because it's like a complete package. It gives you background. You tell your story relentlessly with no shame. Dating, online dating. I got 10 fucking books and I ain't even talked about online dating. Surprisingly, I don't know. It gives you I know why. It gives you everything. So it's a iceberg. We got to do the super chat questions because I'm not gonna
Go ahead. Yeah.
cover. Um, yeah, so man, it's just a complete book, and it's very insightful. I feel like if you are at square zero, you could actually read the book and have enough game to go out here and win. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. It's a good introduction to the red pill. It's not too harsh, but it's got enough truth bombs in it that it's going to piss some people off.
yeah, and you know what? This how good the book was to me. I have the book on Kindle and audio, right? So this how good the book was to me. Read it first, and then I did the audio. Now I have 5 audio books, and I don't. I have a my everything's my king is my shit. So, um, everything is. I got like a older England guy reading my stuff. When I heard your book, I said, you know what? I'm gonna read my next book. I wanna tell my story because the book that I got coming out on Friday is called Tales from the Underworld: The Life and Times of King Fee. So it talks about my experiences in the underworld. So when I say the underworld, I mean the sexual underworld. The dark side. And I just say, hey, perfect timing because I didn't even do the audio book yet, and I think that's the one I need to tell my own story because it's about me. So it's definitely a nice touch. I would recommend for everybody to get both. Um,
Yeah,
Go
let me
ahead.
just add to that because I mean, there's some things that guys do not do enough of that I think they should do more of, especially if they're broadcasting themselves on YouTube or other platforms, and that's share some of your own personal stories and experiences.
Mhm.
Some of it might be embarrassing, some of it might expose some truths about you, but it helps people connect with you and the authenticity of what you're presenting. I mean, you said from the get-go, like when you read the book, you're like, yeah, dude, like I get it. Like I know you now, sort of thing, right? Like that's what I'm talking about, right? Like you want to share those personal experiences and stories rather than standing up on your soapbox lecturing people about all this shit.
Mhm.
Talk to them about stuff that you've done personally.
Right, right. What age were you? Do you think when you finally started to get it? Like for me, example, I'm gonna be real. I was always good with chicks. I'm what you call a natural. I never really had struggles with women.
Hmm.
But what I figured out, my two red pills, I feel like was the first red pill was when I realized women like sex just as much as we do. Because when I started, I kind of thought had that backwards. So what I thought, Rich, was um, women didn't like sex as much as we did. So basically, like when women give the men sex, that was almost like, okay, I like you that much. That's what I used to
Hmm.
think.
Hmm.
Like, okay, we do stuff to earn the sex, Okay, we're going up the steps, half the first base, second base, third base. Then when we have sex, it's like, okay, she all the way likes us. And then it came to a point. I think I was 16 years old because when I first started dating, I had an older brother. So when I was about 10, he not had half. When I was 10, he was 25. So I'm a person who teaches myself and I watch through others. So basically, I would hear him cupcaking with his girl. Oh, I love you, baby. He had different plates and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I thought that was the way. So when I start dating, I would be cupcaking too, unnecessarily. Like, oh yeah, baby. Oh, I love you. I miss you. All the just because I thought that was were the steps for
Hmm.
sex. So I would be caking it all in. And then what I realized was, um, when I would have women I was dealing with, I wouldn't have any problems. But I was having problems with the women I was in relationships with, and I couldn't connect the dots. I'm like, how come I got a rotation of five chicks, and they miss me, love me when I'm coming over, when they gonna see me, but then I got the girlfriend who I tell her I love her, take her on dates, listen to her shit, and she gives me the most pushback. So I'm like, it seemed like she should be the easiest because I invest the most. And what I came to find out was it's not really the woman's fault. I'm acting different.
Hmm.
It's me that's being different. I'm thinking like, how come she can't is not worshiping me like these other girls? And it's because my value was based on the way my vibe I was giving her. I was pedestalizing. Like just like the movies, like How to Be a Player, all these movies where you have your girls on the side, but then the girlfriend is like the shrine, like I must treat her like
Hmm.
a queen, that type of stuff, man. So those are
Yeah,
my
dating
those are
game
my
is a lot
moments.
different from long-term game, and most guys, dating game's easy, right?
Mhm.
If you just follow the basic principles. But most guys that think that they're red pill, they're like, I watched a few videos, I read a few books, I'm just going to LTR, this chick and everything will be fine. But long term game it's a different game, man, and it's harder, and it comes with more risk and some other exposures too. But yeah, you're right, man. It's like most guys get that wrong. That's the whole betatization through a thousand concessions concept that I talk about in my book. It just happens to all guys. It just depends by how much. Like, are you going to go full on beta pleb, or are you going to maintain some frame but give up some of it? Do a little pedestalizing, do a little bit of too much lovey-dovey stuff at the wrong time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a different set of rules. I don't think there's anything out there that exists that deals with long-term game, to be honest with you. I haven't seen it yet anyway.
Well, that's a space that
Maybe
needs.
that's the next book for us.
Right, right. Man, matter of fact, shout out to AV and shout out to Mr. Palmer for that. Mr. Palmer in our house, thank you for that super chat. We were actually having a conversation earlier. Y'all don't copy this idea. I'm telling you now, I'm gonna come for your ass. We're gonna do author retreats. All my main squad. Shout out to AV, Lawrence B. Adams, my big bro, Red Pill Jehovah's. That's my little family, and we all are authors. So I want to host like author retreats, and we can just go and have workshops on how to structure your book, talk to the authors, just every little thing like that. On top of the players cruise. So you invited to that. I'll let you know when the cruise goes on. We gonna do the players cruise, and we're going to vlog, and this is gonna be like we're gonna create content. So it's like everybody gets to see everybody hanging out and like do excursions. So it's not gonna be the typical we hang out, go to the club. Like we're gonna be on going to Jamaica and be zip lining 10 deep and stuff like that. And just I think it'll inspire everyone. And then we're gonna document it. So it's gonna be pretty dope. So I'll keep you in tune for that. But like I said, man, it's a pleasure, man. I feel it's hard work. I remember I started YouTube in 2018, and I was watching all you guys in the comment section, man. And when I first started, you might even remember because it was an awkward name in the chat room. It used to be Dominance Mindset Raw Game Mafia Kingdom. So
I
that was
think I remember that. Yeah.
yeah. See, Dominance Mindset Raw Game Mafia Kingdom. The only reason why I changed it is because why did I? Oh, because when I first started, Rich, I was a uploader. I didn't do interviews and stuff like that. I used to just do the little uploads in the car. And then when I got the 1,000 subscribers, I really found a passion for having conversations. So that's when I
Mm-hmm.
put the podcast, just to subconsciously let the guys know, like, we're going to be focused on interviews, panels, all that kind of stuff. Like, we have big panels and stuff too. So, and it's always a good thing. But with the book, what was your favorite part that you wrote? What was the part that resonated with you the most?
Um, all of it for me is meaningful in different ways, but I mean, the one the one chapter, or I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like the main chapters that I wish guys would really pay serious attention to is the genuine desire chapter, because that deals with so much of the bullshit that guys put up with, where they just get bad results with women because they chase women that seriously don't have genuine interest in them. They're like on the tipping point. They're like they kind of like them, but they're really not interested, and they spend way too much chasing. So there's that, and the smart men don't marry chapter, because there's
Mm-hmm.
way too many guys that think the goal in life is to find a wife, and it's like maybe that was a good idea a long time ago, but if you live in North America, it's a really bad idea. And like realistically, you don't need to get married to have kids, and there's smarter ways to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think watching people, for me, I got a god brother. Shout out, I'm not a god, my godfather. Shout out to him. So his situation was this: he was married. Now he's a barber, and so what happened was, what's up, Gabriel? He put his wife through nursing school, right? So he was a barber. She didn't have a job. She was just going to nursing school. He was paying for everything.
Hmm.
When she got that job, she started acting funny, and dude, it tore him. It's like it's been 10 years. He's just now getting over it. It tore him apart, and
Common.
I'm looking at it like, man, that'll never be me, man, never.
It's common. It's real common, man. I had this guy that used to work on my cars about 10, 12 years ago. And, he owned this mechanic shop, maybe with like 4 or 5 bays. He was about 50 years old, nice Italian guy. Sent his wife through law school. They had 3 kids, put her
Mm-hmm.
through law school around 35 or so, and bought a condo downtown because he lived up, in the country sort of thing where I was at. Bought a condo downtown for her to be right by school, right by everything. Within a year of her finishing law school and getting a job at a law firm, and keep in mind this is like a 40 odd year old woman, right? Like she's not a spring chicken. She's a mom with 3 kids. She's married. She ended up divorcing the guy, and I didn't know all these details, until I dropped my car off one day. I'm like, "Yo, where's Paul?" He's like, "Oh, you didn't hear? He had a heart attack. He dropped, he dropped dead in his office, and we found him there in the morning." The next day, dude was 51 years old, and it was like within a year of her getting her law degree and bouncing on him. And it's like, this stuff happens, and it's like one of the precursors that guys don't understand. And some guys fight me on this. Like we actually had a Rule Zero panel the other day, and Ryan was on the other side of this, and I get why he was, but I mean there were some other guys in the chat too. But I mean, one of the things that leads up to the breakdown of a long-term relationship or a marriage is if she gets a big raise or a big promotion. And if you ain't keeping up, buddy, the clock is probably ticking down to the end of that relationship at some point. And if you're married with kids, especially small kids, that can become very expensive. So when I tell guys chase excellence, not women, and don't get lazy in an LTR or in a marriage, it's for those reasons, right? Like she wants to know that she's with the best that she can do. You don't have that luxury. She can't. She can start working. She can stay at home. She can put on 100 pounds. Not much is going to happen unless, he wants to bounce on her or to, have something else going. But, for the most part, when it's her, it's clock's ticking down. It's like sands in the hourglass, and you can watch them go down until it counts down to the end of it, man.
Man, that's crazy. The dating game is off the hook. I feel like people have problems is because they don't want to necessarily evolve with it. You see what I'm saying? Like they want everything's evolves. Internet's evolved, cars have evolved, the way we dress has evolved, the way we get our hair, every single thing's evolved. Our refrigerators have evolved, but for whatever reason, people think we're supposed to date like it's 1960 still.
Mm-hmm.
And me personally, and I want to hear your take on it, I think it's from social media. Now, I don't want to be a crybaby about it, like, because some guys, I know, because you coach, some guys use that as an excuse why it's hard. Oh, yeah, I got to give up because social media gave these girls too much options. It is true, but if you know what you're doing, you can maximize the hell out of it. So it's like, it's hard if you don't know what you're doing, but if you know what you're doing, it's abundance, man. So what you got to say, brother?
That's part of the unplugging, man. That's what I talk about in my book. The entire unplugging process, from the comforting, the sweet. Like somebody once said to me, like, comforting lies sell better than the uncomfortable truth, and it's true. People want the comfort of wear a mask and you'll be safe. Get the jab and you'll be safe. Stand on this dot and you'll be safe. And It's like people want to be ruled, man. People want to be ruled. They want a ruler. They want them ruling them, telling them what to do. There's not a lot of guys out there that will question, the standard narrative, the societal narratives, and say, wait, well, hold on a second. Mm-hmm. This is what I've been told my entire life. Be nice to her, put her up on a pedestal, become less so she can become more. How come women bounce on me all the time? And they're not, letting it compute and think, well, it's because they don't want that. Like what women say they want versus what women respond to are quite often two very different things. Right. So you have to watch the behavior. You have to watch what women are responding to, not what narratives are, what they say. You ask a girl what they want. Oh, I want a nice guy that's funny. Really?
Right.
That's all you want? That's it. You sure?
Yeah, man. It's changed. And you know what? We know what I learned within the last year. Social status, bro. I always had game. I feel like I'm a good looking guy. I got nice hair and shit, whatever. I know how to dress. But my opinion now, and this is new to me, because so I'm 40. So I'm a light OG. I'm OG light, right? So I graduated high school in 1999. And then so from my 20s to my 30s, there was MySpace, and the tail end was Facebook. Instagram didn't come around until later. So there was no such thing as social status unless you were actually famous, right? And so I figured out, like, man, like, so on Instagram, I got about 16,000 followers. Now, that's not a million, but I have noticed that once you kind of get past 10, you don't get left on red anymore. And women will slide into you. I get more slide-ins than I can handle. The stories. Yep.
The grandparents' day where they would come back from a war, they marry up their childhood sweetheart and they go get a job at a factory screwing on toothpaste caps, and that was enough. You'd have a car, you'd have a house, you'd have the white picket fence, you'd have the 3 kids and a fluffy white dog, and that would be enough, back in the day. But that's not enough anymore today. You need all of that plus success, plus you have to have some degree of reach, fame, notoriety, recognition. And the more of it you have, the easier it's going to be on you, right?
Mhm.
And it's quite easy to get today just by having an Instagram following or by having a YouTube account. Like people recognize me when I go out now.
Mhm.
So it's not as hard as it used to be, but at
Mhm.
the same time, it's like it's almost annoying that you have to like the more of that you have, the easier it is going to be on you.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like you don't have to have it. You can probably have wicked tight game and not even have social media. But if you have social media, because women creep you, right? Like they want to see what you're doing. There's all these social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and they'll creep you and they want to see what you're all about, right?
Mhm.
When you have a following, when you have an audience, when you have people praising you, when you have fans, you know, guys that want to be you, women that want to be with you, of course, it's going to turn them on.
Mhm. I remember I went to Dubai. Um, so I was in Dubai, and this is when I started getting my followers up at that time. So, so I got 3 Instagrams. So this was on my regular one, and I recall maybe I had around 7,000 followers at the time. And I remember I did one post, and I got like 40 DMs. I did one post from a camel, 40 DMs. I'm like, damn, bro, I can't even keep up with this. This is a whole. I posted one picture on the camel on the stories. Boom, I got 40 chicks to damn near fin through. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, because it's
Yeah.
like for real. Women want to say stuff. It's like they want to say stuff anyways.
Yeah, you should be
You
using
know?
Instagram if you're a guy. You should be using Instagram for social proof and basically use it like a dating app. I don't use it like that. I mostly shit post on it. Like I just had another post here that got flagged by Instagram because it violates terms of service. I like to flick boogers at some of the toxic feminists and some of the other crazy stuff that guys do. But if you're not doing that and you basically use it for social proof, it can
Mm,
be a very powerful tool. Absolutely. Yeah. Totally agree.
powerful. Even what that's that. It's not fair though, really, because we see men. We actually have to provide value for social status.
Yeah.
Women, they can just be hot. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Be
That's it.
hot. 100K.
Yeah. Doesn't take much more
OnlyFans.
than that.
Rich. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to have provable social status.
Mhm.
Give me just 1 second. I got sunscreen running into my eye from the boating today. Give me a second. I just got to wipe them. Hold on.
Okay, no problem. You guys have some questions for Rich? Put them in the chat so when he gets back, I'll read them. This is your time now. So put it in there. Put them in there right now. Give me a fire sign if you guys enjoying the interview so far.
All right. Back. Sorry about that, man. I
No,
didn't
it's
have
all right.
time to hop in the shower after all that.
Yeah, I want you guys because I'm not gonna do a cheat sheet because you guys need to buy the fucking book. Okay, but I want my big brother to do the pleasure of giving some fire online. Just give them that taste, because that's what they care about the most anyway. They want to get online, swipe. You just give them like 5 tips, just from the book. I know what I like. Like I'm telling you guys, he breaks the online shit down from pictures to what you need to say. Like I was surprised, like, oh, he breaking down text threads. Okay, okay, Rich, let's do it then.
I'm telling you, man, it's comprehensive. I covered everything in that book. It is fire.
Yeah.
It's the bomb, dude. It's probably the most important thing when it comes to that part of game is the photography. Too many guys are too lazy with bathroom selfies or really, really shitty photography. Like I got a guy that I took under my wing from my men's community the other day because we have these field reports and they post stuff, and a lot of guys are pretty advanced, but there's always some new guy that comes in and it's like the photography is terrible. The angles are terrible. They're not using the right pictures that I talk about in my book. They're not professional photographs. The photographs that you should have is one really, really good shot of you. Like this will be the main picture. It's got to be something that captures her attention, because if she's on a dating app and she's doing this shit all day, right? She's not judging you based on your job, your bio, any of the other pictures in the profile. For the most part, it's the one shot. So if you don't have professional photography that's done right, you're at a disadvantage. And I'll tell you straight up, I mean, you're wasting your time. Like if you look at the photographs and you're like, I look like a 5 out of 10 sort of thing, you're wasting your time. You are literally wasting your time. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get disappointed. You're going to get annoyed. You might go down the black pill rabbit hole and start hating on women too much, crazy, stupid stuff like that. Don't do any of that stuff. It's like take the time, take the money to make sure that you've got yourself properly photographed, because the optics of masculinity and attraction are going to show up in that first picture. You run them through Photo Feeler, which is an app that you can use online where real people vote on your photographs and you pick the best one. That's your main photograph. The other photographs that you need is something with a group of friends. The higher profile the group of friends look in the photograph, the better off you're going to be. If you're hanging around a bunch of losers around a very cheap ass campsite or a busted ass trailer collapsing on itself, and there's 5 of you with your Budweiser and they're all kind of messed up and they look like crap, she's going to think to herself, why would I put myself in between, him and that dude over there? I don't want anything to do with that picture. Because that's what women think in their head. You have to show them that you're going to invite them into your world where you got something going on. So when you have your group of friends picture, make sure it's a good photograph. Maybe you're at a wedding, you're all decked out in your suits, your tux, you're tailored, you're fitted properly, you look good, something like that. Because she's looking at it like an invitation to enter your world. So there's a group of friends photo. Another one that I'll mention, I'm not going to give it all away because it's all in the book. We could take forever going through this. But another one that I'll mention is you want the photograph. And all that is, it's a picture with you like a puppy, a little dog that looks cute, that's looking up at you, that you're happy to be around. It's cute, right? Mm-hmm. Stuff like that is really important to consider. What's another one that we should talk about? Oh, the mystery shot. You remember the mystery shot from the book. So the mystery shot's a nice silhouetted picture. Is what I like to call it.
If y'all need to reference, kind of like his cover a little bit.
Yeah, actually, that's the exact photograph that I mentioned, which I think I linked in the URL that I mentioned in the book. It's either that one or it's another one, but that's a example of a mystery shot, right? It gets the mind roll. Like I get these dorks that are like, "Oh, you touch that up, like that's Photoshop. That's not really you. Like you don't look like that." It's like I don't even know how to open Photoshop. Like you think I did stuff like that? Like that's what we're talking about here. So you want a decent silhouetted shot, because I think that they work really well, and the response will always be good for guys when they have a proper one set up. So look for something like that. And again, guys, all of this is all like the side effects of you being on a purpose, you chasing something that's more important than women, you putting a dent in the universe, you being a strong masculine guy that looks good in silhouette. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they giving you diamond and fire. They loving it. Good. Y'all didn't know
That's what
y'all thought he was conservative. Y'all didn't know he was in the trenches with the rotation. Maybe your girl's watching. Hey, I want to talk about some red flags too.
Yeah, let's do red flags.
Now I just dealt with this red flag. This one was new to me, bro. Mm-hmm. We gonna talk about mine first. We gonna get to the other ones because this is very important. And people, because like some of them are obvious, like party girls. If you chasing party girl cheeks, you're stupid. Like I don't feel bad for you if you get dragged, and if you are chasing women who got Miami bitch tank tops and little ass shorts on, and that's your fault. I don't feel bad for you. But this is my favorite one. It is number 5. That's another one too. Hold on. Red flag number 4. Let's talk about that. Women, now it's like a subtle thing, but it can really get bad. Women competing with you. It's like
you don't hear about that too much, do you?
Right? Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, in this little stuff, like women, it's like there's always once women kind of always have like a little vibe about everything they tell you. Like, for instance, like me, a girl could be like, "Oh, I like your waves. A nice haircut. Oh, thanks. You must got a date, huh?" That type of shit. Like, bro, no, I just cut my hair. Like, I'm here with you. Or it's always something like, "Oh, you all that now," or "You ain't got no, oh, we supposed to go on it." Like I could deal with a chick. She could be like, "Hey, babe, we still going out, or do you got another consultation?" Like that type of shit. Like, even if I do, I know that vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I know what it means. So,
yeah. Let me drop this on you. So I dated this girl once that loved to compete. Okay, she had an older brother that, or sorry, it wasn't even older. It was a sibling that was a little bit younger, but very close in age.
Mhm.
And I watched them, compete with each other. Oh, my house is better than your house. My car is better than your car. My ceilings are higher. I've got 10-foot ceilings. You've only got 9-foot ceilings. You're not as cool as I am. Check out my granite countertop. And they would do that. And that sort of stuff is going to happen with you. And I heard all kinds of stuff like, my dad's car or my blah 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 is better than yours, and you need to work harder, and that's really what it all boils down to. Is there when a woman competes with a guy, it's only because she's shit testing him because she doesn't see him as her best option, and she wants to see if he's competent enough to fulfill that role.
Mhm.
Women do not compete with men that they look up to. They
Mm.
won't. You know, if you're with a chick that looks up to you and sees you as a giant, sees you as a guy that's on a purpose, that is putting a massive dent in the universe, that can solve serious problem, that's competent, that's masculine, that's got serious bank. She's not going to be like, my house is better than yours because I got 10-foot ceilings and you only got 9-foot ceilings. Ain't going to happen, man. Ain't going to happen. If a woman's competing with you, it's a bad sign. It's because she's shit testing you. She can't look at you as her best option. That's why she does it. So you do not want to mess with women that routinely compete with you.
Yeah, and it's annoying too because it's like sometimes it comes from nowhere because like sometimes
I'll tell
you
you where it comes from, man. It comes from toxic feminism. It comes from women thinking that men and women are the same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Men and women are the same. We can do anything a man can do. I don't need that guy. No, 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 no. It's like, no, no,
Mhm.
we're not the same. We're different. We're complementary, but we're different. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Women do not compete with men who are above them. Absolutely.
Mhm. Another important one. Um, I don't want to go with the obvious one like daddy issues. We can talk about that for 2 hours alone.
That's obvious.
Yeah. Let's go with keeping men from the past around.
Yep.
Cause that is a good one. That's a good one. Cause a lot of times, like, let me just say this, and this is like I teach the ice game, but I be telling guys, you know, if you are putting women on ice, and that just means like a timeout,
Hmm.
putting women on ice, they have to like you. So dudes will tell me like, "Hey man, so yeah, Afi, so I met this girl. We text twice, and she took like 6 hours to text me back. So I put her on ice. No, you didn't put her on ice. She, she there's
She
not
doesn't
a
have a genuine desire for you, man. You're just an option.
right because
Yeah.
like sometimes you're doing them a favor. So guess what? You put your girl on ice. All she's doing is dealing with the other dude
Hmm.
on her
Dude.
free time
Yeah.
without your supervision now.
Yeah.
But you thinking you're a big shot. Yeah, I like guys be telling me, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it for 10 days. Dude, you're not supposed to count the days. You're supposed to really be disrespected from whatever she did that you did that. You don't do it like that because then women understand the pattern and it's not effective. If you say, you know what, one day off. Okay, well then she's after the first day she might cry. No, don't do it. But after like 3 times, she just be like, okay, well shit. Now I'm just gonna hang out with my friends for the one day. He'll call me on Wednesday,
Hmm.
same as normal. So the other guys around.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other guys around because I mean, women like to keep guys around in their lives. They like to have a backup plan. Actually, they surveyed a ton of women at one point. I can't recall the name of the study, but something like 50% of women in long-term relationships or marriages admitted to having a backup plan. So by the very act of admitting that they had a backup plan, they're basically admitting that they're a piece of crap, right?
Mhm.
They're married and they have a backup plan. So you have to understand that the other 50% didn't want to admit that they had a backup plan, or maybe they didn't, but there was a certain percentage of the ones that didn't want to acknowledge the fact that that's what they were all about. So there's that part of the equation which is problematic, right? Like,
Mhm.
you know you go get married, you take your vows till death do us part, and blah 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 blah. What do you need a backup plan for, sweetheart? If you're in a long-term relationship and she's come at you with the, hey Afi, where do we stand talk, and you're like, well, the way I see it, we're dating, and she presses for the relationship, and you go, okay, fine, I dig your vibe, you're a good girl, let's see how that goes. And then you find out that she's having lunch with her ex-boyfriend, or you find out that she's hanging out with Kevin from sales at work, when they get together, or she's got to take a road trip with Steve from accounting or something like that, and they hang out together and they're texting and they're Snapchatting and doing stuff like that. That's not acceptable.
Who was Thundercock? What was it? Was it who's Thunder?
Chad Thundercock, is one of the other guys too. But here's the thing: like women with boyfriends don't behave that way, and that's all you got to tell them. Like, hey, girlfriends with boyfriends don't behave like this. So if you want to hang out with your ex-boyfriend, if you want to hang out with Kevin from sales, that's cool. No problem. I'm just going to carry on doing my thing over here, and I'll be seeing some other women too, right? And then you just let her know that. You just move on. And she can either abandon that and enter your frame, or she can hold on to Kevin from sales and, the ex-boyfriend and still have her quarterly lunches or coffee dates with him. Cool, no problem. You go do you. I'm going to be over here spinning some plates.
Yeah, I'm gonna be over here just doing my thing.
Yeah.
Real talk, like, man, I've had some of the worst. One of my most classic videos when I was an uploader, and people still remember this. And the video was called "The Dangers of Single Mothers Too," right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
basically, and it's like there's different valuable lessons. So the first lesson is, so this girl that I met her on my birthday. She was very square. I think she might have been a librarian. No, she was some type of nurse or something, and very square though. So you assume like, okay, well, you know how guys feel like they have a good girl, but sometimes good girls like bad guys, right? So she's not all
Good
sweet.
girls are just bad girls that haven't been caught yet.
Boom.
That's all
Fact.
that is.
Right. Her baby daddy was some fucking like biker, Harley Davidson biker gang fucking guy and shit,
There you
right?
go. Right there.
so
Don't talk to me about being a good girl.
Yeah. So look, I met her I met her one weekend. I met her on my birthday. She took me to Benihana's and we went to iFly indoor skydiving. That was the first date. And then she took me to crustaceans. That was the second date. Third date. Look, he said that. Yeah, you remember? Yeah, y'all remember that, right? He said, yeah, y'all remember that stuff. So then, I had sex with her. Went to sleep. Now something told me I could get up and go home. But it was that, that post orgasm kind of like, oh, let me just lay down for a little bit. Boom, blowing up, blowing up, blowing up. And so this is the second lesson. When you deal with single mothers, the baby father knows that the baby father knows their baby mother's schedule and routine and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he's not interested in her, when she starts being interested in someone else, here his ass come. Because it's like he wants to helicopter it. He wants to be in charge of that. That's a lot of times that's how come they have babies with them, because I want to keep her and I want to keep her. Boom, boom. So, dude, I'm asleep. Hit me right in the face. In my sleep, I woke. He could have been standing over me. Boom. We had some type of Street Fighter 2 showdown, naked, like everything. So we fighting. I'm naked. I'm trying to grab stuff, stick it, move. Dude, terrible, right? So,
It's not worth it, man.
Yeah, well, it was not worth it. And she said, I don't believe this. Like, dude, like, and my ass was so stupid because I was in my feelings that
she knew that was going to happen.
I was supposed to stop messing with her. I didn't.
Expose you to that.
Huh?
She knew that she exposed you to that by having you stay over there with the guy showing up too, right? Like she knew exactly what she was doing. She probably got a little bit of a rip off and a little bit of a high. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Two guys fighting over like she's some
right. Yeah.
Crazy.
Get out of here. Go back to your librarian job.
He got me good, right? No defense. I was asleep. So he got me. He got
you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that, man. There's no point in fighting with other dudes over a chick like that. Forget about it.
Uncle Ism, what's going on? Yeah, and I can laugh about it. I can laugh about it now, and that's some advice for you guys. Be able to laugh at your losses because they're lessons. They're not really losses. A lot of you times you lose and you get obsessed over that, and then you never come up out of it.
Yeah, you got to calibrate, man. Like you don't lose, you learn, right?
Right. So, yeah, man, that happened, and it's just been a lot of stuff, but that was obviously the worst one. But you never get the story. It's like guys feel like if they ask all the questions, you don't get the story. Oh yeah, like what's up with her baby daddy? Oh yeah, she said he's long gone and she don't like him no more. Yeah, that's what she said, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing I want to say is a lot of times we're props for the baby daddy. Don't even know. Like when they're all over you, oh Rich, your bald head is so sexy. You're like, I know, I'm hot, huh? No, she's just doing it because she's posting it And then her baby daddies be like, he'll DM her like, really, that's how it is now. You move it, and that's what she wants. But you think you're a hot shot though. You think she's showing you off. You feel like a champion. No, she's just using you to bait him. And then
Hmm.
look at my. She'll post stuff like the captions is really would be funny like, oh,
Yeah.
look at a real man can appreciate a woman. It don't take him 5 years. Shit like that. Like say it took you 5 years to start being committed.
There's
And
a book by Evo Psych author David Buss. I just finished listening to it actually on the drive back, and the title of the book is Why Women Have Sex.
mhm,
And a good chunk of that book deals with women having revenge sex or doing things in an underhanded fashion to get back at
mhm,
ex boyfriends, ex husbands, baby daddies, girlfriends that got the guy that she wanted. There's actually a lot of examples in that book that deal with that. That was a little bit of a red pilling moment for me. Like, I don't get surprised by too much stuff anymore when I go through Evo Psych, but that one was like, I never thought about that, but it makes a lot of sense, right? So the very story that you're talking about with the street fight right there, the whole Street Fighter episode, basically that.
yeah, I never and there was others too, but that was the worst one. Uh, and my ego wasn't in control because I should have took that as a red flag. My ass like, I ain't telling her, but I'm like, I'm gonna stick around because I want a rematch. He caught me slipping. I'm gonna rematch with his ass. So I'm still stupid ass shit. I'm still entertaining her in hopes to have conflict with him again, right?
See, I'm the opposite, man. I'd just be like, you know what? I'm out. I'm done. Keep it, whatever.
hmm Let's talk about women who are pathological liars.
Yeah.
Um,
Had a girlfriend when I was 20. She would talk about having a motorcycle. Never had a motorcycle, never saw
uh,
it.
this
She
is
never brought it up.
this is
I
a good.
used to ride. I used to ride a lot of sport bikes back in the day, and she was always, "Yeah, I got a bike, and it's up at my mom's place." And she lived with her dad. It's up at my mom's place. We'll take it out. Da 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 da. And I started catching wind that she was full of crap on some things, but I wasn't sure. And then one time, because to fill up the tank on my bike was like $7 or $8. I go to her, what did it cost you to fill up your Ninja? Because she said she had the 750 Ninja. She goes, oh, $25.
Yeah,
And I don't care if you try to fill it up 3 times. There's still not enough space to put that much gas in the tank. It's impossible. And it was like, okay, this is a risky thing, man, because she could start telling you stuff like she's on birth control. Oh, it's okay. Just go inside me. Yeah. Like, you have to be careful with pathological liars. I mean, setting aside that you want to be in control of the birth, generally speaking, but pathological liars can put your life at risk, right? They could expose you to problem people because of their pathological lies. Like, their entire life is built on a house of cards. You ever
hmm
see a house of cards, like the triangles and all that sort of thing? You just have to blow on it, the whole thing falls down. That's what these pathological liars are like. So as soon as you pick up on a chick being a pathological liar, you need to next her, man. You got to keep her at arm's length. That's it. You do not get involved with her on a personal basis at all. You want to keep her as a plate at a distance? Hey, man, that's on you. But if bad shit comes your way because of her lies, just know that you invited it.
facts. I remember I was dating this girl. We were in our early 20s, and I was a super cheater, whatever. And I was just blatantly cheating, doing all this stuff. Whatever. And so she cheated on me back. So she went to
Revenge.
Hawaii with her friends. Right. This is how she
Yeah.
messed up. She should have just told me nothing. When women tell you a little bit, put it like this, guys. When women, okay, for instance, example, if a woman says she did something once, she did it 5 times. Just put it like that. So she went to Hawaii, right? So when she got back from Hawaii, she was telling me about how her cousin, who I know, slept with this guy. And I'm asking, okay, well, what was you doing the whole time? You were just watching, like what? Oh no, I met this guy. He, and the ego. Oh, he was on me though, but I was just shooting him to the left. And I'm like, for real? Come find out. So she had a picture of him on the beach like this. He had these abs. He was this army cat. So he's sitting like with his arms like this out in a little speedo, right? He's one of those buff army guys, right? So I seen the picture. As soon as I seen the picture, I'm like, oh, she definitely fucked him. I know she did. Threw the picture away. Bro, the picture kept re. So I threw it away. Then one time I'm laid in her bed and I was just chilling, and I dropped my keys on the side of her bed. Go pull it. Here goes the picture. So I'm like, oh, she's really trying to say this memory, right? So I throw it away again, like, bro, what the? Oh no. So I'm kind of like, okay, she thinks I'm stupid. So one time, you know, we smoked a little tree, we had some drinks, we were eating. So she was saying, "Oh yeah, I feel you ain't shit. You always cheating on me and all of this." And I'm like, "Well, you act like you were a saint just because you cheated on me in Hawaii that one time." And she was like, "Well, I only did that. I only did that because I said, hey, oh, you never told me that."
Mm-hmm.
Got her. So yeah, and she was like, "Oh my, what?" She got up and ran. She was so embarrassed
Mm-hmm.
because when I used to ask her about this dude, she would like go get the Bible and everything. Oh, you know how I feel about my grandma. You never do that. And then she was just like, "Oh, I'm just keep it real. We just kissed on the beach." See, that's why I was saying a little bit like, okay, y'all did everything. Just you should have just said y'all did nothing. You didn't do nothing. Then you keeping the picture. Then we just walked the beach to kiss. And then so I said I'm gonna set her up because I want some confirmation. I already knew, but I wanted her to say it. So oh yeah, yeah, you did that to me. And she's like, oh, well, that was only because that's thanks for that debut because you didn't never tell me that. And she just
Yeah.
looked. Oh shit.
The
Darn it
little
out.
book, the little book of lies is what you could call that, man. Every chick could write one.
Facts. Another good thing in the book I liked, and I'm gonna adapt. It's two things too. One thing was the social circle. Which one I want to say? The social circle game. And I actually told one of my friends this about her son, verbatim with what you said
Mm-hmm.
about the martial arts. Like that's a good uh, networking thing. Because cats who do that usually got a little money, and you can network that way. Because I remember when I was young, I used to do karate too, but I didn't stick in it because I used to watch the Bruce Lee movies, so I wanted to do this kind of karate. She put me in kung fu, and I was sitting like this isn't the kind of karate I watch in the movies. I don't want to do this. I want to be on the. I don't want to be on defense. I want to be tearing some shit up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the point of this?
Mm-hmm.
But that resonated with me, like, wow, because she has 12-year-olds. I was like, man, I read this dope ass book. You need to put him up in the martial arts. Oh, he's like, no, just listen to me. So I was giving her the science behind it, like, no, because you want to set up the circle. Because even me, like, even I want him to be better than me. Like me, for instance. So my history was so I live in the Bay Area, Oakland. So it's pretty not now it's gentrified, but when I was growing up, it was pretty rough and hood. But when I was small, from being born until 12, I was raised in the suburbs. So I know both. So when I was in Sacramento in the 80s, I might have been only one of three black people in the school. And then what happened was my sister had some issues with her baby daddy, right? So my mom, we come to go save her and never return home. We
Mm-hmm.
had a pool and shit, and I'm like, man, when we going home, mom? What's up with this? She's cool now. Let me go. And
Mm-hmm.
then once I got registered in the school, I was like, oh shit, I'm not. I gotta stay here. So then when I went to middle school, seventh grade, there was no white kids in the school, so it was like a total just flip over, But I always got good grades when I was in high school. I got straight A's and stuff, but I had that good education from childhood too. Because when I came here, some of these kids couldn't read as teenagers, and I couldn't understand it. Like, how the hell y'all don't know how to read? Like, but
How old were you when you started to fight?
when I started to fight,
Like
oh,
combat sports?
I used to fight from probably like 7 on up. We used to have a box. I talked about that in my book. Did you read my book? We had a boxing league. We had a
Yeah,
boxing
yeah.
league. I used to be tearing people up
Yeah,
in the thing.
boxing's a really, really good use of your time. Like guys, like there's so many dudes out there that don't know how to fight. I mean, you see these videos online and they're like swinging some shit like this, and
Mhm.
they just look like a bunch of idiots. And it's like, not only is it a useful skill in life to defend yourself and to protect somebody that you love, or your children or anything like that, but it's also good for you. It actually improves your mindset. It actually improves like your social circle as well, as you notice, right? I
Yeah,
said in my book, like losers don't go to dojos. If they do,
right.
then they always level up. They might start as a loser, but if they stick around and they do the work, then they're going to level up. So I tell guys all the time, I mean, get into combat sports, learn how to fight, right? I mean, it's something that you may need to use one day, but even if you don't, it changes your mindset. Plus, it's one of the best workouts that you can ever get, man. Like when I go to the dojo and I get put through all the drills, like all the cardio conditioning before we start the striking exercises,
Mhm.
I'm covered in sweat, dude. Like my shirt's soaked,
Mhm.
right? Like it's probably one of the best ones that you can do. So striking, Krav Maga. I mean, if you like to roll, you want to do jujitsu, stuff like that. Just find something that you like and go do it.
That's fast. I want to shout out to Iceberg. I want to get into Muay Thai. That's what I want to learn.
Yeah, that's
I remember. So I used to be kicking everybody's ass, and then when you're young, somebody is a couple of years older, and it seems like they're super older. So maybe we were 10, and he was like 13, 14, but he seemed damn near like a grown up. He was doing weights, like he
mhm.
was advanced. Like he actually overdosed from steroids. So that's how much of into it he was back then. So he moved from somewhere else. He had the biggest house on the block, had a grand piano, all of this stuff. Had a boxing ring in the garage, right?
Nice.
So he came, figure seeing us, had all the video games. So basically what happened was we were all boxing. He knew kickboxing. So since he had all the cool shit, we let him modify what we were doing. And we put on did start doing the kickboxing with him, and he was kicking all our ass because he knew more stuff. But we older, so we just following him. Oh, whatever, That's his name was Jimmy, so we just thought it was cool. We wanted to go over there and play with all the NES and Sega games in this cool ass house. So he would just be
Hmm.
lumping us up, and he just took over our whole little situation because couldn't nobody beat him because he was bigger, stronger, and we only boxed. He was doing all type. He literally changed our thing. Like, no, we're gonna start doing kicks from now on. All
Hmm.
right, well, we want to play in the box. We were just in the garage. Now you got the boxing ring, so we just listen to whatever he say. All right, cool. Let's just kickbox then. Don't know what the
Yeah.
hell we're doing.
Telling
And
you, man, it beats the crap out of sitting around playing video games all day, which is what most guys are doing today.
I know it, right? Why do you think?
Simping for women and playing video games. What's that?
Why do you think men are so soft nowadays? Because men are soft, bro.
Yeah, they're real soft, dude. It's like, I don't know. I mean, even like 16-year-olds, like when I was 15, 16, I wanted to get my driver's license on the date of my birthday. I
Right.
wanted that freedom. I wanted to be able to do that cool shit. It's like, even like kids today, like, they're like 20 years old. I don't have a driver's license. Really? You never got to drive? Like, you don't even want to drive a car, a motorcycle, nothing? Like, that doesn't even interest you? There's so many things that we could talk about that are contributing to why guys are soft and weak today, but it's a function of everything that comes at them through society. Most boys are raised in single mother households. Women do a terrible job at instilling masculine values in boys. The school system treats boys like defective girls. The media is constantly telling guys to become less so women can become more. We're normalizing basic shit like OnlyFans, like that's not prostitution. Sugar daddy stuff is not prostitution. There's all these like normalization of like everything that basically makes men become less so women can become more, can escalate themselves. And it's encouraged to simp for women. Simping is now normalized. It's like the pandemic's not the beer bug. The pandemic is simping. Like men are weak. Men are very weak. The other thing too, Afi, this is a good book that you should read. I think you'd like it. It's called Estrogeneration. The author's name is Dr. Anthony J. You can watch a video I did on my channel. I did an interview with him about a year ago. It's on my Playing to Win. So search on my channel for Dr. Anthony J. Estrogeneration. You can go watch it, get the summary, or read the book. But there's a lot of environmental factors that hit boys and men today that lower their testosterone and increase the level of estrogen in their body. Like one of the things that I constantly deal with when I consult with guys one-on-one and I try to help them with their online game, I can't tell you how many guys that I've dealt with that basically have breasts. They have female breast tissue. And it's like you're showing up in life and you want to get the girls basically with tits on you. Man, we got to start with that. Like, let's start with what you look like.
Mhm. Yeah, your appearance is key, and it gives you a lot of confidence too. Like me, I'm 6 feet 220 now, but I went through a stage. Maybe I was how old was I? I was about 20. I was drinking heavy. That's when I stopped chasing Rich. That's when I stopped chasing girls. I stopped chasing women at 28, and then
Mm.
because I got two DUIs in 1 month. I got two DUIs in 1 month, and I was sitting in jail like in California, if you get three DUIs, you get a felony. So I was like, wait a minute. I'm in jail for the second time in a month behind cheeks, chasing ass. The first time I was going to the club. The second time I coming back from the strip club. So I
Mm.
thought to myself, if I get another one of these, I'm gonna lose my job. Nobody's gonna hold me down for no year because for that, I'm gonna lose my job, money, my car, and the women are gonna move on. So I said, you know what? When I get up out of here, I ain't chasing women no more. I'm gonna just deal with high interest chicks only. I'm not trying to like, of course I still deal with women. I'm not like sourcing and pursuing though. Like
Hmm.
when I was younger, I would have a thing like I want to get 5 numbers a day, or if I go out, if I go to the club and I get 8 numbers and I said I want to get 10, I'd be like, oh, I lost, man, I was supposed to get 10. Well, when I was sitting at jail, I said, man, when I get up out of here, I ain't doing that shit no more because it's not worth it. I'm
Hmm.
in here laying on this steel ground, it's cold, everybody dirty, and not for drinking and chasing booty. Hell no, bro. No, I ain't doing it, and I haven't did
So,
it since.
yeah,
I haven't did it since.
way
So
better things you can be doing with your time.
and that's a wake up call. And sometimes we get them differently because the thing is, there's people who have that same experience me, but they don't change anything.
Yeah.
They keep doing the same thing as what they're doing. You have to evolve. Just like YouTube. So my channel got deleted um, in November. And so before my channel got deleted, I would only upload. I was doing uploads, and I would go live Wednesday, Monday, and Sundays. And when I got my channel back, when they delete your channel, your kind of channel is kind of funny. They don't really push you anymore.
Hmm.
So that got me going live every single day. So I took something negative, and instead of crying like, "Oh, YouTube, yeah, they hated me," I'm gonna go harder. I'm
Hmm.
gonna write more books, do more shit, do more travel, make more money, and that's what I've been doing. And it's kind of hard to stop because every month I see progress, whether it's consultations, money, growth. Just like doing this with you. This is uh roses for me because like I said, I remember I would just watch your videos, and I was like a player and stuff, but I never see. Now it's different because I thought I was supposed to be a player. I've been traveling the world since I was 20, so I've been to all these Thailand, all these places and stuff. I'm traveling for 20 years, and I was cool with that. And I said I want to be a principal, a vice principal, because they still deal with the kids more. And then um, doing this, and I start helping people, and and what really for me is when I start getting feedback out the country from places I've never been, like guys in
Hmm.
Germany, like, man, that video was fire. It helped me change my life. And then more of that, I'm like, wait a minute, I kind of like helping people and changing lives more than chasing chicks. And it just totally changed my life, man. And I'm telling you guys, you can do it. Like you don't know, but since it came up, like one of my goals is for you to interview me on Rule Zero or one of the shows, and it's just like I let me see. I've interviewed everybody. I've interviewed you, John, MLD, obviously a million times. Uh, uh, Troy Francis, everybody except for Ryan Stone. He's the only person I haven't had a conversation with.
Hmm.
So, but even though you would assume, because I do so many interviews, podcasts, and all of this, I like answering questions. I don't always want to teach all the time. Sometimes I want to think about stuff that people ask me more than just blurting out answer, answer, answer. So, because it's fun, it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah. I
fun.
love having these conversations, man. It's always good to catch up and have these talks.
Let me go over one thing before I let you go. I don't want to keep you up too long.
Yeah. What do you got for me?
Let's talk about okay, this is up my alley right here. One more sidebar. I'm gonna run through this one quick too, just real fast. The tattoo test is fire.
Yeah.
Now, what's the guy's name? This is new to my stuff. This was I read it in your book. I literally maybe thought of that maybe a month ago. What's the guy's name? It's a rapper. His name is the guy who sings. Y'all put it in the chat. The Tatiana song. Anyways, he had went viral saying basically he was like when he deals with women that he needs them to be branded. And I was like, you know
Hmm.
what? That's a good way to eliminate because I get tired. It's like rinse and repeat. You deal with women, you have sex, you go on dates, and I say around the third to the fourth month, Where are we? So I said to myself, ooh, now we can really cook. Yeah, Blueface, that's his name. We can really cook. So now that's going to eliminate it because either she going to do it or not do it. If she don't do it, fine, we can't be committed. So now you can stop at when you my girl. Did you get a tattoo? You got other girls? Did you get the tattoo though? That's what I want to know. Don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about if I got 5 or 3. Did you get no? Don't ask me. So it just kills because either they don't do it and I get to keep doing what I'm doing, or I know that they're super invested. Obviously, we know. Oh,
Correct.
guys will be like, "Whoa, they can cover it," but it's still the initial investment. They don't want to go through getting a tattoo twice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
Absolutely, man.
yeah, so whatever you want to say about that. And the last thing I want to talk about is managing. Damn, I should have wore it. I got a shirt that says it's me. I made a shirt. It's called "Fire That Shit, Get You Another One." That's one of my little things. The amount of fucks, manage the amount of fucks you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's touch on that. Thank you, Unique, for the cash app, brother.
Yeah, there's and can somebody drop the name of the track from Baby Blueface, because I want to listen to that too. Um, the manager Fs. I'm not going to swear too much because the more you swear on YouTube, the more of a problem it is for your channel. So I'm just going to call them Fs. So just follow me on this. The amount of Fs that you have in your day is like a resource, okay, and it's limited. You don't have an unlimited supply of Fs to give. So you get up in the morning, you got to do stuff, you got to get ready, you got to eat something, maybe you got to drive to work, maybe you work from home, depending on what's happening, in your world. You drive around, there's some guys that piss you off on the road, you get angry. What do? You flip the bird, you're going to floor it and come up on his bumper and, honk your horn and do stuff like that. Whenever you're doing things that's unnecessary in your day, you're dispensing Fs unnecessarily for things that are not truly F worthy. Okay. You guys can expand it or, read the chapter. These people are like energy vampires. They're going to try to suck this energy out of you. This is the Fs that they're trying to steal from you. Right. And it's like a bar on a video game. So, I mean, if you ever played, well, let's use Street Fighter since we talked about it earlier, right? Street Fighter, there's 2 fighters. There's you, there's me. There's a little bar, beneath us that says how much energy we have. And every time you take a hit, that's like a little bar of energy that you lose until you're down to 0 and you die. Now, that's not going to happen when you dispense all your Fs, but visualize the amount of Fs you have as like, whether it's a gas tank or a life bar or something like that, there's a limited supply because at some point during the day, if you're dispensing too much of it, you're going to run out of energy, man. You're not going to have time to deal with stuff in your life after 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night because you've had the energy sucked out of you throughout the day. There's a monk that I met that I talk about in that chapter. Okay. And I got this from a monk. This is a monk. This is a guy that lived in a monastery for 10 years on top of a mountain in Hawaii, telling us the story about how you manage your energy and how energy vampires can steal this from you. So grab the book and read that chapter to get all the depth on it. But the concept of managing your energy and what you dispense it to is a very, very important one. If anything, start with this. A lot of guys get pissed off when they get cut off. Bad drivers, traffic, things that might annoy them on the road. Try this. Just be indifferent. Don't care. Somebody cuts you off, don't care. You're not going to honk your horn. You're not going to flip them the bird. You're not going to speed up. You're not going to try to cut off in front of them. Just don't care. Don't care. Reserve that energy for something else that's more worthy of it.
That's good stuff, man. Me personally, when I stop. Oh, real quick too. Does YouTube trip off the cussing that much? Because a secret is I don't cuss super much, but I see guys like AMS doing naked numbers, so I didn't know it was that big of a deal. I'm like, shit, he says the B word and all of that, and he gets 100,000 views. So I guess
if you want to get monetization and if you want to get recommendation to new viewers, my view on it is I like to swear in my videos, but I usually leave it towards the end of the video or at least halfway through. And if I do, it's like an exclamation point. It's like da 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 F. It's like a full stop sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I use it. But there's guys out there that I see dropping like all kinds of bombs throughout their lyrics, and I think you're going to run into problems on your channel if you do that too often.
Okay, I'm gonna make a mental note of that. I'm gonna stop. At least the F word. Some words like hell and shit. They say that on TV.
Yeah.
The F word and the B word. If I say it in this week, I'll give y'all a free 30-minute consultation. So y'all can DM me about that. But it's a pleasure having you.
Thanks, man.
I had a good time. You had a good time, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna click open this link and check out this beat here, Blueface.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
He posted the song. JB, find the video where he's talk. Maybe he did.
Tatiana is the name of the song.
Yeah,
Is
but
that it?
there's a article where he basically said like that was his new thing.
Hmm.
So matter of fact, if you type in Blueface in the tattoos, then it'll come up.
All right, I'll do that.
And that's what he did. So it was a pleasure. You guys make
Cool.
sure you like the video, share the
Yeah.
video, cop his books. I'm gonna put his link.
Books right
Uh,
here. Grab it off Amazon. You guys are going to love it. And if you read it, leave a review too, man. Appreciate it.
and I'm bad on that. I gotta leave a review for you too because I read your book twice, and well, listened to it and read it. So well, that's twice.
Thank you.
So appreciate you. Look forward to meeting you one day, talking to you again.
I hope
You
so.
guys in the chat, hope y'all and I got a surprise for y'all this weekend. So like, comment, subscribe to Entrepreneurs in Cars, and get the book. Y'all have a good day. Peace.